Okay, now let's try this live stream for the second time. As I put my website URLs up, you are welcome to Queen 1111 broadcast, giving you the update on what's going on in the world, specifically as it relates to the because experiencing the greatest wealth transfer of all time. So of all times, as Muhammad Ali would say. So let me see how this sound is looking. You gotta hit the thumbs up and let me see how the audio is sounding. So let me see how this sound is looking. You gotta hit the thumbs up and see how the audio is. All right, Lee Brown, first one in. Let me give you a shout out. Welcome in, aka Les Brown, and I am getting right to the point. Let me know how the sound check is on your end. You were just watching Robert Kiyosaki. Cool. Great. That's what's up. Robert Kiyosaki, why is it important to watch? I should have one of his books in arm's reach, but I don't see it. Um, Okay, I see it in the back there. But we mainly know Robert Kiyosaki from his best-selling book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Poor Dad. Number one best-selling book on financial success, right? Giving us the abbreviation and definition and education of what is an asset, what is a liability, why we should convert our cash into assets. In fact, in the backdrop there, I have another book by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm a faithful student. It's called Fake. Yep, it's called Fake. Educating us on fake money. What's fake money? What's real money? Unfortunately, most people don't have a financial education and they don't know that money, right, when it was printed on paper, used to have gold certificate and silver certificate on it. I don't know if y'all can see that certificate because of the glare. I'm trying to hold it at an angle. And that real money is not the money that folds, but it's actually the money that jingles. It's silver and gold. This is real money and assets, things that appreciate in value. Unfortunately, so many people work for cash, and cash has lost 98% of its purchasing power, you all, since 1971. What happened in 1971? President Ricky Dick Nixon, removed the dollar from the gold standard, removed the dollar from the convertibility of gold. In fact, right here, this is a silver certificate dollar. This is what paper money used to look like. I don't know if you all can see it because of the glare, but right up front on top, a real silver certificate dollar, paper currency, and it is redeemable for on demand for the real money. So the reason why many Americans are working harder but getting further and further behind is number one, because they don't have assets. Assets are things that put money into your pocket, right? We don't convert our cash into assets. We don't convert our cash into things that appreciate in value. We don't convert our cash into things that will work while we're not working. A lot of people trade their time for money. They don't have things like passive income and residual income. The only income they have is earned income, right? Earned income. And with that being said, people, the one asset that's most precious of them all is your time. So if you're always trading your time for depreciating cash, fake money, you will always struggle financially, right? You will work until you die. But more importantly, let's get into today's current news, right? That's just a recap. What is Janet Yellen saying, Treasury Secretary of State, saying about the economy? Janet Yellen feels like America has enough money to fund two wars. Now the question is, how can America fund two wars when we're $33 trillion in debt? Right? How can we afford to fund two wars when we're $33 trillion in debt and counting? In fact, let me look at the U.S. debt clock because it may have increased because I did see that the United States debt has risen 1.9 trillion in the last 19 days. So let's see if it's above that threshold. Now, you know what wars do. Wars cause the citizens to have to pay more money, whether through it's inflation, right? Whether it's through inflation where you see higher gas, higher groceries prices, just as we see gas prices taking a dip. Now, the reason why you see gas prices taking a dip because the United States recently became the largest exporter. When I say recently, I'm talking about today. The largest exporter of gas. Yeah, we were always the largest producers of gas. However, we were never the largest exporters in gas. Now, because of this war, it is saying that the stockpiles of gas fell, or crude oil in particular, 4.4 barrels last week. Now, you all always know that I break down the numbers and I teach you all because if you understand the numbers, you can understand what's going on. You can understand the timing and the seasons, right? Numbers predict the future, especially in this economy. The government always move and operate from the numbers. So let me share this with you. Good evening, you all. Hello, Miss Howard. Come in, you all, and hit that like and hit that share button. Let me know what part of the world you are tuning in from. Say hello. At the same time, follow the leader, do what Miss Howard did, and let me know what part of the world you are tuning in from. So 3 hours ago, updated news, United States crude stockpiles fell. People 4.4 million barrels of oil in United States commercial stockpiles for the week ending October 13th. Gasoline inventories reportedly show a draw of 1.58 million barrels for the week. Wow. Very scary, right? Stockpiles at a crushing Oklahoma storage hub show a draw of 1 million barrels. Now, November crude oil traded at $87.40 after settling for $86.666. And I'm going to show you all the 666 just so you won't think that I'm making this up. The 666, we know that's the number of commerce according to the Bible, that no man can buy or sell. And so you see the 666 here. I'm telling you all, the elite, the powers that be, they always speak in numbers. They always speak in gematria. They always speak in numerology. They show it in code. 666, the Bible says, right, Revelation, that he who has wisdom, let him interpret, is the number of commerce, right? Much love to you. Welcome in. Hello, you all. Welcome in. Hello, Tony. Thank you for tuning in as well. So let's look at Biden numbers. Biden economics, or Bidenomics, however way we're going to say that. Bidenomics is leaving the middle class behind. You all, again, this is going to be the greatest wealth transfer of all times. Of all times. This is going to be, and Charles Dickens' famous poem that I always quote, the best of times. At the same time, for others, unfortunately, it will be the worst of times. For those who are futuristic thinking, for those who are preparing, for those who can see that this wealth transfer is moving to a digital wealth transfer, because people, you know what eliminates debt, right? You know what eliminates debt? Wars. And the United States has to cancel out this $33 trillion and counting of debt. So, according to the Biden White House, right, the economic plan, dubbed Bidenomics, is working. President Biden and Vice President Harris came into the office determined to rebuild our economy from the middle out and the bottom up, right? However, the White House is stating what is exactly Bidenomics and is it working? So, in the White House own words, Bidenomics is an effort to move beyond the economic plan of three key pillars, right? Three key places or pillars. So the first pillar of Bidenomics is making smart investments in America. That means America has to, honestly, in the words of Trump, become great again. We have to become exporters. We cannot no longer depend on China importing things in. All of our productions, all of our, most of the things that we buy, for example, at Walmart, stating being made in China. We can't depend on China anymore. We can't depend on the agriculture. We have to go away from Saudi Arabia's oil, right? Russia, those countries. And this is going to take years and years in time. So also the public investment in the share of the economy, the public investment, the buying of bonds as China is dumping American bonds. People, this is down about 7% since 1960, right? And so we have to have a shareable account, economic growth, meaning our roads have to get better, bridges, high-speed internet, ports, airports, right? Things of that nature. So empowering and educating the middle class, right? There's so many poor working class. And as I stated earlier, we have to get back to financial literacy, financial education. We have to know what real money is. We have to know the difference between assets and liability. But even more, we have to understand what this great wealth transfer entails. And on a bigger scale, we have to understand, people, that this is the only way this debt is going to be reset. It has to be reset through war. And again, war always brings in higher taxes, which the tax laws have already been changed for 2024. If you do not have a taxation plan in place, right, and you are 5 or 6 figure income earner, which means you can be the poor working middle class, or you can be the upper middle class if you're a 6 figure income earner, I highly suggest you go to milliemoves.com. The website is right there. Get you a home-based digital business with 475 tax deductions so you can keep more money out of your gross income, out of your paycheck, to where your gross is not always looking gross. You can only do that through a home-based business. The only business place, the only tax deductions where you get 475 tax deductions. And people, it is far time out for you to depend on one income, right? It is time out for the dependency of one income. You can no longer depend on one income. You can no longer always exchange your time for money. You have to have residual, let me adjust this, perpetual income coming in. You have to have your money growing at a faster rate than inflation is. Your money has to grow faster than the numbers when you're pumping gas at the gas pump. Because if you don't make this move, people, at 33 trillion plus dollars in debt, right, you unfortunately are going to be poorer and not more prosperous. A recession is when your neighbor loses their job as artificial intelligence is taking over and has financial issues. A depression is when it hits your household and you have financial issues. So let's listen to Robert Kiyosaki. This is actually an old interview, right, before we began the talkings, and we see that we are moving closer and closer to World War III and where this is going to put us. Now, this is why this is a little scary, right? This is why this is a little scary. As Janet Yellen is saying, yes, the United States has the money. I don't see it. I just showed you all with $33 trillion in debt, right? I don't think Stevie Wonder can see that America has the money to fund 2 wars, not less than 1. But Janet Yellen says America has the money. Now, we have November the 17th. This is 1 month away. Today is October the 17th, approaching. And with that approaching, you all, there is a high possibility of a government shutdown. A high possibility of a government shutdown November the 17th, which will prohibit anyone that's federal workers from getting paid, and that will have a definite ripple effect on non-federal workers from Medicare, Social Security, any of those receiving government assistance. Biden has already come out and said this is going to affect Black Americans the most, those receiving government assistance the most, if November the 17th comes into a government shutdown. Now, one thing I won't get into this live stream, but I will talk about on a separate live stream, is we just had a solar eclipse, right? We just had a solar eclipse. The solar eclipse represents judgment is coming. Now, the solar eclipse for 2024, and usually a solar eclipse about 33 days, and exactly 33 represents illumination. Ice is transformed, or when ice is melted at 33 degrees Fahrenheit, right? Then it is able to be transformed into liquid or melted into liquid. Also, Christ of death, the age of death of Christ was the age of 33. 33 vertebrae, 33 bones in your vertebrae, your backbone, that represents the seventh chakra, right? The rising of the seven transitions of energy, with your head being heaven and the heel of your foot being or feet being hell. Your seven chakras, your highest level of spiritual and mental and physical thinking. 33 vertebrae through the bone, right? So the number 33, I know you know it maybe from Freemasonry as well. And again, you're right, 43 next week, we were in a war with the 43rd president. Wow. Good point, Nick. I did not think of that on a numerology standpoint as well. The 43rd president. Also, right around the holiday season. And again, what's so scary about this is that usually going into an election year, which is 2024, right? And we see the number 8 in 2024 as well. 4 plus 2 is 6, and 6 plus 2 is 8. The number 8 represents the upside down infinity sign, which means the ending of an old thing to transition into a new thing, right? The infinity sign. Then we can go to Revelation 1 and 11, where we see the 111. 111, like 911, also represents a warning. The chaos and confusion is about to enter, just like in Genesis 11 in the Bible, the Tower of Babel was built. That brought about a confusion, chaos, but the people were united. The people were united, but the God said, came down and disrupted it and brought about a change in language amongst the people. See, the people in Genesis 11 had one language. They had one language, one mindset, one mission. They was on one accord. And people, we are going now to a new world order, a global agreement of a world currency system. Just like Genesis 11, the people were on a frequency. They was on the same frequency. They wanted a higher frequency, a higher means of vibration. We're going to a different frequency in our currency system. See, the word currency within itself means a flow, right? A current, a flow. And so with that being said, people, 11, right? As in Revelation 11, John was given a revelation of exactly 11 things in the final judgment, right? This was Revelation 20, Revelation 20, John was given a revelation of exactly 11 things in the final judgment. So the total eclipse, this was a solar eclipse that we just experienced. But I want you to look at the date, April 8th, right? April 8th, 8 again means infinity, a changing of an old to bring in something new. This is going to be different than the solar eclipse we just experienced, because guess what? This solar eclipse will cross across North America, passing over Mexico, United States, and Canada. A total solar eclipse happened when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, completely blocking the face of the sun, and the sky will darken as if it was dusk or dawn. People, this will be seen by millions, right? This will be seen by millions, and it will be seen by Canada, Mexico, and the United States simultaneously. Again, I'm going to do a separate live stream on this, but a solar eclipse represents when judgment will arise, usually 33 days to the exact, right? And if you study or follow Nikola Tesla, he talks about the power of 3, 6, and 9. So a solar eclipse, people, when Jesus was crucified, crucifixion on the cross, the crucifixion 3, 6, 9 hours apart. So was put on the cross at sunrise. 9 hours later, or 3 hours after sunrise, let me correct myself, which was approximately 9 a.m., 3 hours after sunrise. 3 hours later, it was noon. From noon until 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. approximately, was the time of death of the crucifixion. It was darkness upon the earth for those 3 hours. And this is equivalent to a solar eclipse. Now, when we look at April, when we do the gematria on the month of April, as we see April 8, and we see the double 88 in that as well, April gematria is 11. 11 also represents a new beginning. In fact, 11th hour appears right before the start of the new day, which we know is midnight. Deuteronomy 11:11 talks about transitioning to a new life of abundance and promised land, that you are blessed with many resources. Again, Genesis 11 talks about chaos, disorder, but at the same time a wealth transfer, because people, even during 9/11, buried underneath the rubble of the Twin Towers were millions of dollars of physical, not dollars, millions of physical silver and gold combined. Deuteronomy 1:11 talks about a wealth transfer, right? May the God of our ancestors bless you and increase you 1,000 times more. Joseph in the Bible was the 11th child. What was Joseph known for? Joseph was able to interpret dreams. 11 foretells the future. 11 is about justice, as the Libra scales. We started Libra season September the 23rd. You have the Libra scales that represents justice scales and a balance, a transfer, a balance of finances, of money, right? And so we see right now that April equals 11 in gematria. The reverse reduction of 11 is, April is 7. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 means a divine transition, right? Even when we add 979, we see 16. 6 plus 1 is 7. What happened on the 7th day biblically? Well, bankruptcy happened. Bankruptcy came. The word rest there on the 7th day, right? God rested from all his work. The first 6 days were days of physical things that was created in the earth realm, right? All things were physically made, but that 7th day was a day of a spiritual rest. That means God did not merely rest on the seventh day, but he stopped creating. It was a purposeful stop. Everything that was created at that point was made, but he had the combination of the spiritual and the natural was brought together. And a bankrupt, that word rest means to bankrupt, to reset happen. And we're entering to a bankruptcy and a reset. Because if you look at Genesis 1:1, it talks about the earth was void. So it was a new earth created, right? In Genesis, it was something before that was void and darkness upon the earth. So that word rest and its origin, you have to know Hebrew and Greek, right? It's the word Sabbath. It means to seize. It also means to celebrate. It also means to reset and to bankrupt, right? That's why when I did credit repair years ago, and that's why in the credit world, 7 years removes a bankruptcy. That means everything reset from you. It starts over. It's a divine transition after 7 years of being reported on your credit report. So let's listen in to the great Robert Kiyosaki, what his thoughts and comments is concerning World War III. And you all hit that thumbs up. We got 35 people in on the live stream. To get more people in, and what is Robert Kidd? What is he saying? What is his message to the world? You all, let's listen in now.
No, I do. I definitely wouldn't want a communist government.
That's why I came in here. I said, Mr. Modi is so well respected. He's a good man.
Okay.
I wouldn't want his job. Let me tell you why. I said it before. The world is now split in two. It's called Russia, China, America, India in the middle. India's caught now in the middle of the biggest changes in world history. And the war is we're going to go to war. I can tell already. So it's going to be China versus America. You guys already know because you have Pakistan, you still have Kashmir. We're still at war here. But if you don't fight, people just take everything. I wish there wasn't war. Let's live like the Beatles and be paid for. It's not the way life is. What's killing America today is all these hippies. They say, there's no more police. Did you know that? They're taking police away from America. Did you know that? And there's violence breaks out. Could you imagine if there was no police here? There'd be chaos. So many people live in this very, very little, if we could all live like we're in heaven. Well, we don't. We live here on planet Earth. It's a great place. I'm having a good time. Okay, there's a lot of work to do here.
Okay.
To make people's lives better.
Do you think this is a third world war situation?
Third World War?
Yeah.
We're going to war right now.
Okay.
Can't you see it? Taiwan, Ukraine.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia.
Because you've been a part of war yourself?
I went to school for war. I'm an academy graduate. I don't know if you know, only certain young men are chosen for these schools. We're trained in war.
Okay.
You guys have it too. So it's like you train people to be doctors, and you train people to be lawyers and electricians. Every country has a school for military officers. I was one of the 2 selected. We're trained to kill people. Okay.
Do you have a message for the world about war? Like there are people who are listening to you right now about you speaking about a world war. Is there a message?
It's coming. You've heard of Taiwan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What are they after there?
The semiconductors.
Yes.
Raw material.
So about 20 years ago, I was living in Portland, Oregon. Taiwan Semiconductor, TSC, moved to Arizona. So where did I move to? Arizona. Because when the Taiwan Semiconductor, I'm a capitalist, okay? When they moved in there, the economy boomed because real estate, prosperity depends on jobs. Am I correct? You don't understand what I'm saying, do you? When Taiwan Semiconductor moved to Arizona, I moved to Arizona because it's jobs. That's prosperity.
Okay.
So right now, China wants Taiwan.
Okay.
Can't you see it? I can see it. China has building warships all over. India's building some good warships also, because you have to defend this part of the world. Or you could say, oh, we're going to live in peace. We're going to get rid of all of our warships. You'd be overrun in Pakistan, would run down here, but get rid of all of our police. You must have strong people. Mr. Modi is a strong man. I have a weak man. His name is Biden. Okay, weak leaders. This man here, Trump, strong leader. This here is blockchain, Bitcoin. I have Bitcoin. How many Bitcoin do you have?
I have a fair amount.
Okay, good. So the reason I buy Bitcoin is because it's got integrity. It holds its shape because of blockchain. I don't like this here. So I go around the world saying to people, stop working for this. And the school teachers say, no, you have to work for this. Get a job, get a job, get a job. But you know, and I know what's coming next. What's coming next?
War.
AI.
AI. Okay, let's speak about AI, so.
No, AI jobs will disappear.
Okay. How do you feel about it? What else do you feel about it?
I don't feel anything about it. I don't need a job.
You don't think that new jobs will be created?
No.
You
Let's stop right there. So Robert Kiyosaki said, yeah, schools to teach you to go get you a good job, get an education. Nothing, I'm not, Robert Kiyosaki has been an entrepreneur all his life, I believe. Well, no, he started out in sales, right? He started out learning sales, I think. I know. And this is one of my favorite books within On Reach for people in the Black and Brown community. This book was over $100, getting Black folks to sell. Why? Because I hear so many people that's in a poor working class and are a minority right now that say, oh, I hate to sell. No, I'll try that MLM or that network marketing, but I don't want to tell anybody about it. I don't want to try to tell my friends and family. But people, let me tell you something. The only way to get ahead financially is you have to get in partnerships. And that's something that the Black and Brown community have been taught against. And I even hate to say black, because that's black in the background. I don't even like to say black, because I never seen a black person. I say brown people. So I say brown people, because if you look up black in the dictionary, it is often, it's not often. It always have a negative definition to the word black. And let me tell you something, people. If you don't understand the power of networking and partnership, and I always give this example, when Jesus needed leverage, even Jesus had to partner with Peter. He needed real estate. He needed somewhere to preach his gospel because he wanted to preach it off of the seashores. And he asked Peter, can I borrow your boat? Peter said, yes, you can borrow my boat. Peter was a businessman, a fisherman, and he was in the red. He wasn't catching any fish. Jesus borrowed Peter's boat. They partnered together. And as a result, Jesus said, now, Peter, I want you to go cast your net on the other side. And Peter said, Lord, we've been fishing and toiling all day. I'm a master fisherman. This is my business. But nonetheless, at your word, and because of the partnership, because of the leverage, says Peter and his friends, he had to network again, brought in many fish, and his business and his financial state automatically changed. So what Robert Kiyosaki is talking about, even if you have an earned income, what I've been telling you all, you need to take that cash and convert it into assets. You need to work yourself out of a job until you get yourself residual passive income coming in, enough to leave the job. He also has a book title, Until You Leave Your Job. Now, blockchain and cryptocurrency people have the potential to create new opportunities to build wealth that will contribute to closing the wealth gap. It is such a big gap between the have and the have nots, between the minorities and Caucasians or whites. The wealth gap is so big, and this is a real opportunity between other ethnic and racial groups, other minority, to change this wealth gap, because we are still, even though Bitcoin is at $27,000, we're still in the early stages. And you have other cryptos that's going to run and rule and regulate this artificial intelligence that we're transitioning into. Again, the only reason why we're going to war mainly is because, number one, these other countries, Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, they want to get off the American dollar. See, right now, if Saudi Arabia wants to sell its oil, it has to first convert their dollars into US dollars. Saudi Arabia is like, we're tired of that. We have the real wealth. We have the commodities. Why should we trade our commodities for United States dollar? Venezuela, Russia, this is where we get BRICS. They are supply ahead. I just showed you out earlier that United States is 4.4 million barrels short of oil. People, we use oil for fertilizer. Farmers are already saying we don't have enough agriculture. We're not producing because of the weather and the drought for food to go into the season. So now we have a simple supply and demand. Less food, higher prices. Less supply, more demand, higher prices for your food, your gas and groceries moving forward. So Russia's unwillingness to commit to how much oil it may produce from November, all this next month, and then we have to pay attention to November the 17th. Under OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, collaboration, they collaborated with Saudi Arabia and other producers. Why do you think during Obama's administration they went in against the Saudis? See, they've been planning for this for years, for a long time. They've been wanting to get out the United States dollar for a long time, even way before the Obama administration. But the Obama administration went in to Saudi Arabia as we got home foreclosures on the upswing and nationwide. At the same time, just 3 years ago, we had housing market booms. Now you're seeing people that could not afford those homes. Because I told you all that, right, a short-lived recession from 2022. I want you all to remember about 2008, right? Remember what happened in 2008? Well, now you got this with a potential government shutdown coming, with potential 4.4 million barrels low of crude oil. Also, potential of having low crops and agriculture coming in, right? And now all of this combined with World War III. So blockchain and cryptocurrency, people, can enable you to have access to financial services, especially for people that are underserved by the traditional financial institutions, which is called the banks. So people, only the cryptocurrencies that are regulated by law are going to last. As we see 8% today, people, interest rates on a 30 fixed mortgage. 8% interest rate. The signs are right here ahead of us. So that's all I have. We're gonna listen in on the last closing remarks, because I want you to hear this from Robert Kiyosaki.
So
So what will happen to all those people?
That's my question is. I can see the future. My God. I just give you a big Paul, buy this. No.
No, I think
I am pretty good with money.
No, I think
I am pretty good with money.
Yeah, we know that.
Okay.
Sir.
I'm telling you, this is fake.
I'm going to pause right there because he held up that silver coin. I've been telling you all, we're not telling you, I'm not your financial advisor or fiduciary, but I've been educating to you all that silver is the most undervalued asset in the world. At under like $40 a coin. He held that silver coin up. Everybody, in my opinion, should be able to afford on a weekly basis 1 ounce of silver because of the shortage. Because of the shortage of silver, because of the conviction of the Department of Justice against J.P. Morgan Bank that hoarded over 300 in silver, right? Because the shortage of silver will drive prices to an all-time high, and you never know when you have to exchange asset for asset, meaning that, commodity for commodity. Commodity for commodity, meaning that you don't know if crypto won't buy you food, but you will have a commodity like silver that you can exchange for food. That's most important. Adam Sugarman people says silver is the most, why this popped up, most undervalued asset of this generation. And Robert Kiyosaki says, I agree. He says silver is a better investment options to profit from the crash of the U.S. I bought many more U.S. silver buffalo rounds because silver is a bargain. In fact, we had Elon Musk that bought millions, and Warren Buffett, millions and millions of silver in the last 2 years, multi-millions. So you go to millimoves.com. I would suggest you become a wealth ambassador, but you can become a customer, get your silver on auto ship. You get it at wholesale price. Also, what cryptos that I have researched and studied, from blue chip cryptos to mid cap to high cap to low cap, that will be regulated by law. You can go to get that PDF booklet, cash in to the number 2 crypto.com and get that booklet and get your silver at Millie Moves. Also, you can get your evaluation if you have a paycheck by adding your home-based business by IRS tax experts, and see if you can. At minimal, people have brought in an additional $400 more out of their paycheck by simply meeting with the experts, adding a home-based business to their paycheck, all the way to $1,100 for the married couple. So there's a lot of money that you can be bringing home. So you don't have the excuse say, I just don't have the money to invest, because it can be right there in your paycheck. And you can decrease your federal taxes legally, morally, and ethically without owing back. But you have to have the home-based business connected to it. Also, that Millie Moves will take you to this website where you can get your fine arts and silver and one, and gold, and copper for under $3. Copper is also an undervalued asset as well. There's a global copper shortage, people. It's all about supply and demand, and you get the fine arts, as Jay-Z was talking about in his album 444, and your silver and gold or copper all in one at the same price. Again, wholesale price for retail. So those are all the websites, you all. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you all subscribe to the channel, you all. Let's prepare for the greatest wealth transfer that this generation has ever experienced. And make sure, we're going back to the gold standard. Gold and silver will be used, Gene Jones, to reset this currency system. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. And on that bell notification, hit the all button. I will keep you all updated and informated, if that's a word, or informed about this financial reset so we can strive and thrive and not try to just survive. People, when the shit hit the fan, because it's about to hit the fan. World War III coming, as well as November 17th. So let's prepare. You all have a great night. Queen out. You're welcome, Ryan. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you.